to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world. And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. We are so excited to have Marianne Williamson with us. And Marianne, welcome. I know you've got a lot going on. Thank you for taking the time to be with your tribe, your Global Peace Tribe. And we've got some special things, a few surprises for you. It's going to be a very unique time. We're eager to hear what you have to say. We also have some things to share with you. And I'm going to turn it over to Deborah for a moment.
Yeah, Marianne, this is going to be a very special interview as we share this precious time with you, because as you can imagine, we as the Global Peace Tribe do things a little bit different. So we want this to be a traditional interview where we understand fully what you stand for in your campaign. We also want to understand how we can totally support you being totally successful in your mission. But also this is not a traditional interview because, Marianne, we are your family. You've been our teacher, our spiritual leader for decades. You have led us through the next opening of evolutionary consciousness stage after stage after stage. And we acknowledge that we are at a critical time on the planet. The planet is awakening. It's all hands on deck. So in this non-traditional interview, we not only want to support your campaign and continue to learn from you, but we want to honor you and give you so much appreciation and love for stepping up in such a big way and shifting consciousness, and most important, taking action on the planet. So I just want us all to pause for a moment. And wherever you are, if you're hearing this live or if you're hearing this on the replay, let's all drop into our heart and beam our love and appreciation from our heart directly to Marianne and her mission. We appreciate you so much, Marianne. And if you're on Zoom, you're welcome to share in the chat room your love and your appreciation for Marianne and how she's assisting you.
And of course, we all know Marianne, but we have a very special way of introducing her and appreciating her from one of her dearest friends.
My heart friend, my soul sister, I am so honored to celebrate you. Ever since I first met you, I recognized in you the authentic sacred feminine. Beautiful, elegant, tender, fierce, infinitely gifted, and infinitely brave. And my heart leapt like a dolphin. And the friendship that we have had, such a deep, beautiful, frank, naked friendship of two souls, has been for me one of the holiest and most powerful and most enriching experiences of my life. And there are no words that I could use that would ever be adequate enough to thank you. It's not that, though, that I want to celebrate in front of all the people listening today. I want to celebrate something that only you could have done in our time. I want to celebrate the unbelievable, noble courage that you have shown as a spiritual teacher, willing to go into the depraved arena of our contemporary politics, so divided, so insane, out of a great love for the authentic democratic truths of America, out of great love for the world that you know is careening towards unspeakable disaster potentially, and in great love for the God that you serve. Nothing could have been more dangerous, more difficult, and at times more painful. I know that from our intimate discussions. And everyone who knows you and knows how unprecedented and how demanding and how incredibly brave this plunging of your whole being into the political arena is, must join with me now and bow to you and salute you. What I want to say to you from the depths of my heart is not only thank you for showing the whole spiritual world the necessity of taking politics seriously, the necessity of trying to infuse all of our social, economic, and political worlds with true love and true commitment to justice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not only that, thank you, though, but thank you going through yourself, everything that you've had to go through to represent the noblest spiritual truth in the most difficult arena of all. Whatever happens to your quest for the presidency, and of course I have supported it and honored it and asked everyone I know to support and help with financial aid or prayers, your great work. Whatever happens, I want you to know something that I and many others know already, which is that whether your quest realizes its goal or not, and that is, of course, in God's hands, the example that you and you alone have been intrepid enough to represent, that example will never die in the sacred imaginations of the spiritual world and the sacred imaginations of those who love you and have been so awed by your fierce and glorious example. And I want to say too, that whatever happens, the way in which you have injected with relentless elegance into the core of our dilapidated and divisive political discourse, the music of spiritual truth, that will remain. That example and its radiation, that truth, and it will continue to inspire the noble ones to take on the task of joining the different worlds so they all can become one world manifesting love and justice. None of your effort, none of your suffering, none of your joy, none of your amazing, unparalleled oratory, none of your traveling, none of your exhaustion, none of your rapture, none of your belief has been wasted. It will last.
Coming in because there's more, and I know you've got limited time, Marianne. We do have a couple later on in the evening, a couple more messages from friends of yours, but I also wanted to kind of come to you and give you an opportunity to kind of take that in and then share whatever opening remarks you'd like to share with us. And then we're hoping to have time to share a couple of other friends of yours that want to say hello and thank you. And of course, hopefully have a time for a little bit of question and answer. Thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you, Scott, and thank you, Deborah, for your opening words. Thank you so much. And Andrew, of course, that was very moving and very powerful, and I'm extremely grateful for the words that you said. You're right, you know, at the beginning when you talked about how I'm home, this is the tribe from which I emerge. But I spent the last 10 months in a world so the opposite of this, in ways that I had never experienced. And you know, we talk about how the world is divided between left and right. Really, it's divided between people who are at least trying to love versus a very mean spirit that I don't know. I've never seen this in this country. And I don't know, it's social media and the stuff that has been thrown on me, at me, the irrational animus. It's been really something. I felt like I wake up every morning on, you know, they talk about astral body and etheric body, and it has felt like I have another realm of body where I'm just beaten up in an alley every day. It was that way. It has been 10 months of that. So to be here with you tonight is very gratifying because it is a different world. It's like they're two separate worlds. And I do believe in, you know, like in that wonderful video at the beginning, that this world is being born, but I think that we're living at a time of two simultaneous realities. One world falling apart and one world being born, but the world that's falling apart is fighting hard. And the resistance to anyone who wants to speak with any level of non-alignment with their increasingly obsolete, separation-based, fear-based, domination-based, greed-based perspective. I just have a whole new level of visceral understanding of the resistance of the old to the world that is struggling to be born. And so, you know, I very much appreciate, certainly in those beautiful words, Andrew. And, you know, when I was watching that movie, looking at all the beautiful scenes and the water and Hawaii or I don't know if it's Hawaii, but it looked like Hawaii and all those beautiful scenes. And I was thinking of the movie Avatar. I was thinking of how it was all about beautiful scenes like that. And then the crazy people come in And the crazy people abound today. I mean, look at, we're already striking with those airstrikes yesterday. I haven't even looked at the news today to see, us striking targets that are backed by Iran. You're already bombing Yemen, bombing in Gaza, Ukraine. Americans are like, I just fear in this kind of la-la land to think that this won't touch us. So I'm very grateful to be here tonight, to be with you, because it is deeply fortifying for me. And I appreciate the gratitude, but I'll tell you, it's I wouldn't say it's a spiritual battle, because the Course in Miracles says there is no battle. The ego battles and the spirit just is. But I have, for whatever reason, been exposed to the viciousness. It's really been something. So I appreciate I appreciate the kindness. I appreciate it very much. And of course, from my dear friend, Andrew, and just thank you.
We're going to bring on
Hear you, honey.
another friend of yours, Katherine Woodward Thomas, is with us. And I'm going to just turn it over to you, Katherine.
Marianne, I just love you so much. I was so moved by what Andrew was saying to you. And I'm so grateful that this conversation is just to give you love and support and just to honor how courageous and brave you are. I've been on the journey with you. I've been fortunate to be a little bit on the inside with you. And digging deep to keep holding the heartbreak of what has been revealed and the depth of it and the gnarliness of it, of the sickness that has really become America. While we were kind of growing ourselves and doing our own inner work, there were things happening that we were not taking seriously. And it's like they're all kind of imploding. And now the division between the dark and the light is severe. And when I look at it, I think, well, what's our purpose? Because if I really recognize that all of us are here by deliberate design, by choice, and that you've been sent by God into the center of the hell that has taken over, and the consciousness of greed and self-serving kind of indifference to the masses of people who are suffering. What I love about what you are doing is you are recognizing, you are modeling for us. You just keep holding the light. That's what our role is. You just keep holding the light. You just keep holding the light, the integrity of the truth. You speak the truth. You're walking the walk. You're doing your forgiveness work. You're growing. You're facing it head on, and you just be the light that's missing. So we're in a stage right now where this has been taking root slowly. It looks like a small thing, that 2% that you just got in South Carolina, right? South Carolina.
Mhm.
But it's not a small matter at all, because you weren't even really in South Carolina. And Dean Phillips was spending millions of his dollars. He has millions of dollars backing him. And the fact that you won there over Dean, and you're trailing behind Biden, it's clear what's happening there. But that is a big win. And that means that some people are actually listening. They're not in the trance. So, you're the one who's now again breaking barriers. You're going into the thick of the wood with the machete of truth, and you're creating a pathway. And I promise you that something is opening up. I completely agree with what Andrew is saying. This is not for naught. We have not seen the whole story yet. But every movement in culture starts with someone like you. Every movement, and it doesn't happen without someone like you. So I just want to tell you how much I love you. I am with you all the way, as is everyone here. We're just here to tell you that we love you and we're with you and we are praying for you. And we know that you will come out of this victorious.
I'm going to bring up one of our regular co-hosts, Eden Amadora, who also has a thought and a question for you, Marianne. Thank you so much, Katherine. Thank you.
Such an honor to meet you and be with you. I was in New York in the 90s after reading A Return to Love, and you impacted my life so deeply with this one invitation to look at everyone as a soul and speak namaste silently in their eyes. And it changed my life. It changed my experience. My heart's been awakening since then. And my question for you is about the sacred feminine and how we can continue, no matter what happens with this campaign, to lift the veils around the importance of coming into balance in the world in this way. What could you speak to us tonight for all that have become so disillusioned with politics and the system around the sacred feminine?
You know, it's interesting because, and that's really lovely about the 90s, and thank you for your words. It's interesting that Katherine spoke before because Katherine she's a high priestess to me. She is definitely the sister that everyone would want. And what Katherine, she made some comments, she knows a little on the inside. She knows a lot on the inside. I have 3 girlfriends who have really walked with me. So I want you to think about what I just said. Think about my 40 years in this field. So think about what I just said. 3 people walked with me.
Yeah, you're like Joan of Arc.
The sacred feminine returns your phone calls. The sacred feminine is fierce. The sacred feminine, if they're putting one sister down, doesn't run away because, oh, she's radioactive, and if I support her, I might get fewer clicks. The sacred feminine doesn't run away when the going gets tough. I tell you, in the last it's been, you know, I've been so fortunate since Oprah Winfrey opened the door for me. And she opened the door for me into, among other things, worldly success. I had no idea how many of my friendships were because I was successful.
Mm.
So Katherine is when you want to know that sacred feminine, it's this is serious stuff. That's what I learned. And Katherine and I have talked, and others. I mean, it is mythical what they've done to me. It is ancient witch stuff. She's crazy. I mean, that's like something out of the Middle Ages. Don't get close to her. She's mean. She's like this. I mean, they're like this. Don't let her on television. Don't let her have I mean, it's been almost amazing. What would the sacred feminine do? We'd get online and say, hey, everybody, you might have seen what they're doing to Marianne Williamson. I stand with her. I don't know if I agree with her politics, but we've like known her for a long time. She's a decent person. What they're doing to her is what they're doing to every woman here.
Yeah. The suppression of the voice of the heart, the voice of truth is love.
Well, it's the fierce aspect, though. It's what I'm speaking to. I think the sacred feminine, and I appreciated the things that everybody has said, and Andrew was talking about it. What does the sacred feminine mean if she's not saying feed those children? What does the sacred feminine mean if she's not saying save the earth? What is the sacred, she's not just dancing under the moon with cut velvet. The sacred feminine gets fierce. And when you see a woman, I mean, it's really nice. And I appreciate all the, you're doing it. But there's been a lot in this last few months where is everybody? And I know a lot has been silent and a lot has been people giving money. And, I'm very grateful. But this, it's interesting because even when I was watching the movie, I agree with all of this. And if they drop a freaking nuclear bomb, What is it all going to mean? And it's like Andrew said, we are marching towards disaster, and Americans are insane if we think it couldn't hit us. So when you say what is the sacred feminine, and I really mean it, I'm just not, I'm not pandering. It's Katherine, what Katherine has been to me. And a couple of other girlfriends who have really been with me, but it has been shocking to me, the women in this field who have not returned my phone calls, and the men in this field who have not returned my phone calls. And the people who have not called to say, are you okay? Who clearly, if they just saw that article about me, how could I be okay?
Thank you for
Well,
that.
I appreciate your asking. And it's serious, it's all the archetypal stuff. It's witch burning. I really get it. And, you know, Andrew, I look forward to talking to you. So it's, I can't even believe how archetypal it is. And it's a force field. I mean, it's dark. I mean, I didn't just wander into the toxicity. It's dark. I've met people and known people and pushed down by people that are the kind of people we're grasping for this just beautiful world. If I would just take nice people. I've been around stuff that's, you know, the kind of people your parents didn't bring you up to be around. So I think that's kind of the next step. The next person that steps out, let's get a little warrior stuff going on.
Warrior of the heart, warrior.
Well, warrior of the, and warrior on the internet, and warrior on fundraising, and warriors in texting, are you okay? And warriors in it's I'm shaken by the silence, not just in this, you know, of, and I don't know what it is, and maybe this community could help me figure it out. You know, Katherine and I have talked about it, and other friends have talked about it. Where did Marianne Williamson become so radioactive? How did I become such an undignified, to just be treated in a way that they don't treat men and that they don't treat, what is this? Is this what we represent? So to me, what does it mean to be the divine feminine? I, I, you know, and I've said for a long time, a lot, and Andrew has written about this and the whole sacred activism that he has talked about and that we have talked about together. He and I have both been very clear that we couldn't avoid politics because how's it ever going to get better if we don't stand within it as the light? But I read a study years ago, and I can't remember if it was gender-based or not. I can't remember. It might have been about women and a man speaking up for her, or it might have just been about people. I don't really remember. But it was an article, it was a study about if somebody starts speaking in a system where a higher truth is not appreciated, okay? That the study was saying, and I think it might have been if a woman does than if a man, I'm not sure, just know that. Okay. If there's a system where a higher truth is kept at bay, the truth of love, etc., the truth of the heart. And then women, and a woman, I think it was something about a woman, I think, speaks the truth of the heart. It said it in that what will happen is there will be this awkward silence.
Mhm.
Okay. And that is what I've experienced is nobody going to say anything? And then this article said, if even one person will say, actually, I agree with her,
Mhm.
then the whole system will change. Now, I think it was if it's women and then if a man says something, but maybe it wasn't gender-based, I don't remember. But I do remember it was if even one person, like there was a congressman the other day who, all these people who have politics like mine, nonprofits and politicians with views like mine who have endorsed Biden, and will say publicly things like AOC saying, well, I mean, consider the alternative. I mean, we couldn't go with her. I mean, it's just so, right? And then Congressman Khanna, because I know him, when he talked about supporting Biden, I texted, are you sure about this, Congressman? Are you sure this is really what you mean? And he texted right back. And he said, Marianne, you know that I really appreciate your standing there, the torch you hold for progressive values. And I texted right back and I said, thank you, Congressman. I appreciate the appreciation, but that's not what this is about. This is about, these are the issues that would change America. These are the issues that would beat Trump. These are the issues, whatever. And then there was a man, and I've met him, but I don't know him well. And he tweeted at that point, come on, Kana, if one of you will do it, if even one of you will do it. If all of you, and he didn't say you cowards, but if one of you progressive Congress people, if one of you will endorse her, it will break.
Mm-hmm.
And to that, he didn't respond.
Mm.
So it's been a very standing alone in the midst of things that, is no one going to defend me here? It's been very, and I was thinking today that, and I don't want to make it like I haven't received support, because I have received support and I'm grateful for the support, but a lot of it has been covert support. It's been somehow that it's embarrassing to admit or something. I like her. Like it's some radioactivity that has accrued to me, this doppelganger. And this doppelganger is really these mythical images of the wicked witch that we all know.
Yes,
And
so
well, here, if she's the good witch, then it's the face, they make it the face of the bad witch. It's so, so that's my answer to your question, that we have to, somehow we have to claim the fierceness of the divine feminine, and we have to claim it with and for each other, because otherwise, I hope that we will give birth to this awakening world without, I don't know. I can only know what I can know. I don't know everything.
Thank you so much for your compassion and your courage and being willing to take this kind of projection field for these messages to come out at this time in the world.
It's a projection field, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And people who like me, but they don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
What?
We more than like you.
Oh, you're so sweet. This is
We
such a lovely thing, and
respect
I'm so
you.
grateful tonight. Thank you.
We respect you. And we honor you. There's so many comments that have come in. I'm just choosing one of literally 100 that are in the chat box, Marianne. This is from Ayada, one of our regulars. She
And
writes,
I can't imagine that this needs to be said in this group, but it would mean the world to me for no one to share any video of what I'm saying here or anything like that tonight.
okay.
It would mean so much to me. Please don't.
Okay, so this is keeping just us.
Would you mind? Because it occurs to me, because it's like I'm speaking to friends, but so much of this could make me look awful on the internet.
Okay, absolutely. This will stay within us.
Because I see it. Could we do that? Could we not take my, thank you.
Yeah.
This is a sacred space. This is a sacred space.
Amen.
Thank you.
I want to read one comment that just kind of represents what so many people are saying, and then we have someone else who sent a special video to show. This is from Ayada, and she writes, Dear Marianne, I am so with you in heart and soul. I feel the depth of anguish you are contending with and understanding the extreme polarity that you are facing daily, on the ground, up close and in person. I and we fully support you and the truly revolutionary stand that you are taking on behalf of all of humanity. You are tilling the hard and barren land of resistance. Please know that millions of us are standing with you. And whoever that is, please stop sharing your screen. Here we go. Your success will continue whether or not you take the presidency, although it is my deepest and our deepest prayer that you will win the White House. It is time. And Ayada's words really reflect how we're feeling. And I have another friend of yours who wants to say hello.
Hey, Michael.
Peace and richest blessings. I am Michael B. Beckwith, the founder of the Agape International Spiritual Center. And I have known Marianne Williamson for a long time. She's a woman of depth, great courage, tremendous intelligence, and tremendous passion about the mighty changes that need to take place in our country. She's on the right side of history where the Middle East conflict is concerned. Two-state solution and nothing less than that. She's on the right side of history where economic justice is concerned for so many individuals that are barely making it financially here in our United States. She understands about free college education. She understands about our children and their needs. She's speaking about issues that the other candidates dare not even touch. She is not bought and sold by forces that would seek merely to keep the status quo alive. She is seeking to dismantle the status quo, where the prison industrial system is concerned, where the war machine is concerned. We need a president that wants to take us to the next iteration of who we can be as humans, not simply Americans, but yes, Americans, but human beings. I applaud her courage, her tenacity, her passion. Marianne Williamson, she speaks with authority about the issues we all need to be concerned about. Marianne, keep on keeping on.
It's so sweet. I feel like I'm getting a Lifetime Achievement Award or something here.
Well, hopefully you're getting some well-deserved juice from your tribe. From we, and you haven't heard enough from us. And I just want you to know that we are right here with you and we're learning so much.
Thank you.
We love you and we honor you and we want to support you in whatever direction you decide to go. Whatever.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm going to bring up another one of our regular co-hosts on the Awakening World. This is Tangela from Soul Search TV. And I know she's got something to share and to ask.
Hi, Marianne. So amazing to be here with you. I have followed you for so long, first as a spiritual teacher, and then, of course, as an inspiring political candidate. I came to listen to you talk also in New York years ago during your first run. And just want to thank you so much for your courage and your fortitude, and your bringing absolute love to this entire system that is just so full of separation, fear, divisiveness. And it just seems that that's what it feeds on, and that's why there's no room. I mean, it seems like there's no room for you because you're here speaking the truth of love, of economic equality, economic empowerment, social justice, climate change. And we have a political system that's not really concerned with any of that.
That's right.
So,
Exactly right.
for the spiritual community and also for a lot of the younger generation, people can become very disillusioned, seeing the bombings in Gaza and today the airstrikes in Yemen and Syria and Iraq. It's almost like, what is going on? We're here creating a new earth, spiritual truth and consciousness, but the world seems to be falling apart around us. What wisdom Can you share? You are in the thick of it. You have jumped into the fire as the woman who is willing to be the face of love in the midst of all of this fear and separation.
Well, I don't have answers so much as I have questions. And my question is this. You clearly have a sophisticated understanding of what the political reality is. And then you said people feel disillusioned. This is where my frustration, there's a candidate. I've been here for 10 months. So people speaking to what you just said had a candidate. And then they would do things like endorsing Biden, and somebody would say, well, we could go with Marianne Williamson. They'd say, well, what else do we have? And I was invisibilized and I was erased. So mine is back to you as a question. You say people are disillusioned, but they've had a candidate. There's been a candidate running for president saying everything you just said. So then when I hear, now a lot of the problem was my inability to reach people because they blacklisted me in the media. But there seems to be something beyond that, like a force field